Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please, one more round of applause for our wonderful musicians. That would be, of course, Clarissa Salcedo and who is? Elena. And Elena. So, yes, thank you for being here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? So wonderful to see you out here today. For those of you who don't know me, let me just take a brief second to introduce myself. My name is Garland Thompson. I am a poet, I'm an actor, a director, a producer. I have been in Monterey County since 1995. I've lived here and worked here. I've done lots of wonderful things here, from Shakespeare, Pacific Rep Theater in Carmel, to an open mic that I run for the last 18 years on Wednesday nights at the East Village Coffee Lounge, the Rubber Chicken Poetry Slam, and open mic. I also have a theater company in Brooklyn, New York that I run as well, somehow in the middle of all of that. But one of the things that I am most proud of in my time here in Monterey County is poetry out loud. I have the distinct honor, and I only say this simply because it's the fact. I'm not trying to say I'm God's gift to anything, but this is just simply just the plain facts. I am the man who brought poetry out loud to Monterey County. I didn't do it by myself, though. I did it with the help of the Arts Council for Monterey County. Can we give them a round of applause, please? It was about 10 years ago or so when I was leaving a poetry class. I taught at a charter school in Spreckles, and I was simply in my car driving home. It was about 5 o'clock, listening to All Things Considered, and on comes a story about the Poetry Out Loud National Finals. And I was so blown away by the program itself and what it represented and the opportunities that it provided for high school students. I said, why is this not happening in Monterey County? So I literally pulled over on the side of the road right then and there. It was about 5:15 p.m. I pulled out my phone, I called the Arts Council, and lo and behold, the former executive director, Paulette Lynch, answered the phone. I have no idea why. She just happened to pick up the phone, and I got her on there, and I started to tell her very excitedly about it. And about 60 seconds into it, she just said, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. And we've been doing it ever since. And so here we are today, and I'm so very, very thrilled. I want you to know my ultimate dream is that every high school student in Monterey County has an opportunity to participate in Poetry Out Loud. And with the Arts Council's help from Monterey County, that dream will come true. So I want to thank everybody for being out here. Let me say some thank yous first. We've got to thank, of course, our sponsors for being here. We've got to thank, and please give them all a big round of applause, the California Poetry Out Loud organization. Please give them a round of applause. Also, the National Endowment for the Arts. This is the federal group that funds Poetry Out Loud in all 50 states, and they are the reason we are here. And also the Poetry Foundation. Please give them a round of applause. All of those guys are great. Also the Arts Council for Monterey County. Also want to say special thanks to the CSUMB Office of the President, the Arts Council for Monterey County Board of Directors, the staff, and their volunteers. Have to give it up for them. Give a huge, huge round of applause for them. And also want to thank our event participants, of course, Clarissa Salcedo, and also want to say thank you for video production by Kevin Armistead and William Cardoza. I believe they represent House of 8 Media, right? So give them a round of applause, please. Thank you for being here, guys. We're going to hear from our runners-up first. All 4 schools. We have 4 schools competing today, and I will tell you who they are in just a moment. But all 4 schools have, 3 of those schools have provided runners-up for us. Everyone had either a champion and a runner-up, with the exception of 1 school. The runner-up is meant to be able to handle all the duties that the champion would have handled, and that would include going to the state competition in Sacramento, which is what we're here to determine with this competition. We're here to determine Monterey County's champion, who will represent Monterey County in the state competition in Sacramento. So We're going to hear from the runners-up first, and then we are going to hear from our champions. And then, now, I've also got to introduce our judges here, so let me take a moment to do that because we couldn't do this process without our judges. Poetry Out Loud requires a panel of judges, and they have very specific things they're doing, from an accuracy judge, and they have various criteria that they have to follow. So one of the pieces of criteria is clarity. One of it is presence. Another is how specifically word perfect they are. That's why we have an accuracy judge. That is very, very important. Let me introduce our judges to you today. Today, we're very pleased to have Susan Breen. She is the honorary director on the board of directors of the Arts Council for Monterey County. She's right there, the lovely woman right there. Her areas of involvement include the Professional Artists in the Schools program, the Arts Education Summit, Music for All Monterey County, the local Emerging Artist program, as well as others. And she says to be a judge for Poetry Out Loud is quite an honor and responsibility. Thank you, Susan. Thank you very much. We have today Holly Byers Ochoa, who is a retired English teacher, historian, writer, and editor. She currently represents the CSUMB President's Office as a volunteer on 3 campus committees. She serves on the boards of 3 community nonprofits, including as treasurer for the Arts Council for Monterey County. Holly is also currently co-chair of the programs team for the Arts Council. Please give Holly a wonderful round of applause. Thank you for being here, Holly. So good to see you. Lovely purple, I like that purple. We have on our team as well, we have Marilyn Vieira. Now, Marilyn holds degrees in fine arts and art history from Santa Clara University and UC Davis. She, while raising a family in Hawaii, she worked in arts education programming and as a classroom teacher. And that's no mean feat to do all that while also raising a family. But you're doing it in Hawaii, so, my sympathy only goes but so far, right? Just saying. She ultimately turned her energy to the latter, earning a master's degree in secondary education. She's since taught social science and English language arts in public high schools in Hawaii and California for the last 15 years. She currently teaches long-term English language learners at North Salinas High School. Please give Marilyn a warm welcome. You're our accuracy judge. Are you our accuracy judge? No. Who's our down there? We're getting to our accuracy judge. Okay, coming up right now, as a matter of fact. Eric Mora is a Master of Arts in International Policy and Development and MPA student at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies, and he serves on the board of directors for the Arts Council for Monterey County. For the past few years, Eric has organized countywide community reading projects with support from the National Endowment for the Arts Big Read program, which is another fantastic program I had the joy of helming in 2008 for the National Steinbeck Center. Fantastic program. Let's see. This also includes a reading project in 2017 centered on poet Claudia Rankin's award-winning collection, Citizen and American Lyric. Please give Eric a warm welcome. And he's our accuracy judge, so he's going to be looking out for any spare uhs or things in there. So, poets, be careful of that. He's very good at this. And lastly, but certainly not least, Patrice Vecchione is a poet, a very successful poet, I might add, a nonfiction writer, and a teacher who has edited several highly acclaimed anthologies for young adults. Most recently, Ink Knows No Borders, Poems of the Immigrant and Refugee Experience. This collection is called A Vivid and Vital Collection by the Washington Post. Patrice's newest book, forthcoming in March, is My Shouting, Shattered, Whispering Voice, A Guide to Writing Poetry and Speaking Your Truth, a book for young adults and others coming to poetry for the first time. She is also a columnist for her local daily paper, the Monterey Herald, and has published essays on children and poetry for several outlets, including the California Library Association Journal. I had the good pleasure of having tea with her in her kitchen and just having a fine time chatting with her. She's a wonderful human being. Thank you for being here. Please give her some love. Patrice Vecchione. Very honored to have you here. We have some very heavy hitters on our judging team this year, ladies and gentlemen, but we always do, because that's what we try to do here. Let me tell you the schools that are competing today. We're going to have 2 rounds where we will hear from our first runners-up, and the schools that will be providing those runners-up are Alisal High School, Pacific Grove High School, and Soledad High School. 3 of our regulars. Give it up for all of them. Give it up for all of them. Okay, let's see. Where's Alisal? Where's Alisal? Where you at, Alisal? All right, Alisal in the house. We got them right there. Where's PG High? Where's PG High? PG High is I like that. Y'all sitting together. I like that. And Soledad. Where's my gang from Soledad? I love it. They're all out there. These are all schools who have competed in Poetry Out Loud before, so we're very thrilled to have them back again. They will also be competing with finalists, but also we have one more school who has only brought a finalist to us, and that would be Rancho San Juan High School. Can I get some love for Rancho San Juan? Where are you guys? Where's Rancho San Juan? Where are you guys? Good to see you. Good to see you. So, that said, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are ready to hear some runners-up. Are we ready to hear some poetry, ladies and gentlemen? I don't believe you. Are we ready to hear some poetry? There we go, and that's what I'm talking about. Well, then let us welcome up our very first runner-up in round 1. Please welcome from Alisal High School, Aldo Saldana Harwicki. Please come on up, Aldo. Give him some love, Aldo.
Testing. Hello everyone, my name is Aldo Saldana. I'll be performing on When I Heard to Learn Astronomer by Walt Whitman. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide, and measure them, when I sitting heard the astronomer, where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon, unaccountable, I became tired and sick, till rising, riding out, I wandered off by myself in the mystical, moist night air, and from time to time, looked up in perfect silence at the stars.
Aldo Saldana Harwicki. Thank you, Aldo. Good job. Alisal High School. Love to hear from Alisal. You guys are a great school over there. Wonderful work. I want to take a quick moment here before we bring up our next runner-up to say thank you also to some folks that we definitely could not be here without their help. And I'm, of course, speaking about our teachers who brought Poetry Out Loud, who took it on and brought these students along their journey. So please, let's give a warm welcome to, from Alisal High School, Ignacio Mendez. Where are you, Ignacio? Is Ignacio here today? Okay. From Pacific Grove High, and I might add, Pacific Grove was, I believe, our very first school to jump on the Poetry Out Loud bandwagon, and this teacher has brought 2 or 3 champions, Monterey County champions, I believe. Please give it up for Larry Hagquist of Pacific Grove High School. So very thrilled to see her here today from Rancho San Juan High School. I can think of very few teachers, other than those that are here today, that are even half as dedicated as she is to her students and to educating her community and making the world a better place. Please welcome Natalie Bernistone. She's in the back row there, trying to be low-key. She doesn't like the spotlight. She deserves the spotlight much more than she gets it. And lastly, from Soledad High School, another wonderful teacher who's doing fantastic work down in South County. I got to witness this firsthand recently, and I'm very thrilled you're going to get to hear from them today. I'm talking about Azir Wilson from Soledad High School. With that, let's move on to our next runner-up. Please welcome from Pacific Grove High School. So thrilled to have her. Say hello to Claire Rodeman. Claire, come on out. Let's hear what you've got for us today, Claire. So excited.
My name is Claire Rodeman, and I will I'll choose for myself next time, who I'll reach out and take as mine, in the way I might stand at a fruit stall, having decided to ignore the apples, the mangoes, and the kiwis, but hold my hands above a pile of oranges, as if to warm my skin before a fire. Not only have I chosen oranges, but I'll also choose which orange. I'll test a few for firmness, scrape some rind off with my fingernail, so that a citrus scent will linger there all day. I won't be happy with the first one I pick, but we'll try different ones until I know you. How will I know you? You'll feel warm between my palms, and I'll cup you like a handful of holy water. A vision will come to me of your exotic land, the sun you swelled under, the tree you grew from. A drift of white blossoms from the orange tree will settle in my hair, and I'll know. This is how I will choose you. By feeling you, smelling you, by slipping you into my coat. Maybe then I'll climb the hill, look down on the town we live in, with sunlight on my face and a miniature sun, burning a hole in my pocket. Thirsty, I'll suck the juice from it, from you. When I walk away, I'll leave behind a trail of lamp-bright rind.
Wow. Wonderful job. Wow. Claire, you could never tell just by looking at you. You had all that in there. It's beautiful, wonderful. See? Don't judge a book by its cover. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's finish up round one with our third runner-up from Soledad High School. I know you're going to enjoy this. Please welcome Carla Vasquez. Come on, Carla.
In the Basement of the Goodwill Store by Ted Kooser. In musty light, in the thin brown air of damp carpet, doll heads and rust, beneath long rows of sharp footfalls, like nails in a lid, an old man stands trying on glasses, lifting each pair from the box like a glittering fish, and holding it up to the light of the dirty bulb. Near him, a heap of enamel pans as wide as skulls looms in the catacomb shadows, and old toilets with dry red throats cough up bouquets of curtain rods. You've seen him somewhere before. He's wearing the green leisure suit you threw out with the garbage, and the Christmas tie you hated, and the ventilated wingtip shoes you found in your father's closet and wore as a joke. And the glasses, which finally fit him, through which he looks to see you looking back. Two mirrors which flash and glance are those through which one day you two will look down over the years, when you have grown old and thin and no longer particular, and the things you once thought you were rid of forever have taken you back in their arms.
Carla Vasquez, Soledad High School.
I always, one of the best parts for me is just hearing the students recite. That's literally, for me, the best part of the whole thing. That's our round one. Before we jump into round two, I want to take one more moment to thank some other folks who we couldn't be here without, and who our students could not be here without, and of course, talking about their family and their parents. Can I please get a big round of applause for the parents? Parents, thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting your children in this endeavor. As I spoke to one of the other parents before we started, and I told him this, and I've said this many times, and I will continue to say it many times, that no matter where anybody places in the contest, they are all winners already, because they went through the process, and the skills, the things they have gained, the insights, the practices, the skills they have sharpened in that process of going through the Poetry Out Loud course to get here to today, they will be able to take those skills and take that through the rest of their lives and use it to great success, theirs and ours. So I'm very thrilled, and that for me is one of the main reasons why we do this program. So thank you, parents. From me to you, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Give them a round. And speaking of rounds, it's time for round two. Let's hear once again from Alisal High School, Aldo Saldana Harwigi. Come on up, Aldo. Let's hear from you again.
I'll be reciting our Town of Frijoles by Ray Gonzalez for Juan Felipe Herrera. In the town of Frijoles, many eat their meals without washing their hands, wanting to bless their mother's food with the soil from the fields. In the town of Frijoles, boys beat on hollow pots, wiping the last of their sides with a piece of tortilla, as holy a moment as taking the wafer in church. In the town of Frijoles, women undressed to keep their babies warm. Stories whispered into bald heads, revealed as poems decades later, when it is early. In the town of Frijoles, old men cry for their fathers and mothers. Tombstone ranches dotting the night moon, where the pinto aromas extend beyond the bowl of the sun.
Aldo Saldana Harwigi. Thank you, Aldo. Let's now hear once again from Pacific Grove High School. Come on up, Claire Roden. Come on up, Claire.
I will be reciting The Lake Isle of Innisfree by William Butler Yeats. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin build there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always, night and day, I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's gray. I hear it in the deep heart's core. Thank you.
Claire Roden. Thank you, Claire. All of you are very, very strong. Thank you so much. And last for round two, we'll hear once again from Soledad High School, South County, Carla Vasquez. Come on.
Lo, 'tis a gala night within the lonesome latter years. An angel throng, bewinged, bedight, in veils and drowned in tears, sit in a dealer to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes stithily the music of the spheres. Mimes, in the form of God on high, mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly, mere puppets they, who come and go at bidding of vast formless things, that shift the scenery to and fro, flapping from out their condor wings, invisible woe. That motley drama, oh, be sure, it shall not be forgot, with its phantom chased forevermore by a crowd that sees it not, through a circle that ever returneth in to the self-same spot, and much of madness, and more of sin, and horror the soul of the plot. But see, amid the mimic rout, a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing derives from out the scenic solitude. It rives, with mortal pains the mimes become its food, and seraphs sob at vermin things in human gore imbued. Out are the lights, out all, and over each quivering form, the curtain, a funeral pall, comes down with the rush of a storm, while the angels, oh pallid and wan, uprising, unveiling, affirm that the play is the tragedy man, and its hero, the conqueror worm. Thank you.
The Conqueror Worm by Edgar Allan Poe. I love that. What a rousing rendition. That's beautiful. You know, we only know Edgar Allan Poe for what, the one thing, The Raven, right? But nobody knows The Conqueror's Worm. See, now I'm going to go back and read that poem again. One thing I would like to say is, I'd like to also congratulate the students on, is your choice of poems. You guys have really picked some wonderful poems tonight. So you all know, they have a choice of about 600 or so poems that the National Endowment of the Arts puts together for them in an anthology, both published, hardback, and online. And so they can pick from those poems, and it's everybody from Shakespeare on up to current poets. And you guys have all done some wonderful choices. And Juan Felipe Herrera, by the way, is a good friend of us here in Monterey County. He's been down and been with us. So good choices, all of you. That is it for round two for our runners-up. How about a big round of applause for all of them? They did a wonderful job. Love hearing from all of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here today, and for all the incredible hard work you put into this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for the main event, which is our championship rounds. We've got round one and round two. These two rounds will determine, at the end of these two rounds today, we will have determined together who will go to Sacramento in March, I believe, is next year, to represent Monterey County at the California State Poetry Out Loud competition. There, the county champion will compete against all the other California county champions, of which there are many, and it's going to be tough. If they win there, they will then have an opportunity to travel, all expenses paid, with a chaperone to Washington, D.C. for the National Poetry Out Loud Finals competition. And there they will continue to be treated like rock stars. They take them on tours of Congress. They let you have lunch in the congressional members' dining room. They take you around. They introduce you to all sorts of folks. We had, even a few years ago, one of the Poetry Out Loud winners got to meet the President of the United States. So it's pretty wild. In addition, of course, they'll be competing for prizes. First prize, $20,000 in cash. $20,000 in cash for their college education, $10,000 second prize, and a $5,000 prize for third place. Also, schools get prizes as well, cash and other prizes, poetry, books, etc. So it's a situation where kind of everybody wins. That's what we're going for. So, that said, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to get it started?
Yes.
I don't believe you. Are we ready to get it started? Yeah! All right, let's do it then. Round one. Please welcome to the stage, representing Alisal High School. Say hello to Alexis Velasquez.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, I haven't used a microphone in a long while. Thank you. One question. If I have to back up during the performance, is that okay?
That's fine. Yes.
Okay, got it. My name is Alexis Velasquez, and I will be reading The Legend by Garrett Hongo. In Chicago, it is snowing softly, and the man has just done his wash for the week. He steps into the twilight of early evening, carrying a wrinkled shopping bag full of neatly folded clothes, and for a moment, enjoys the feel of warm laundry and crinkled paper, flannel-like, against his gloveless hands. There's a Rembrandt glow on his face, a triangle of orange in the hollow of his cheek, as a last flash of sunset blazes the storefronts and lit windows of the streets. He is Asian, Thai or Vietnamese, and very skinny, dressed as one of the poor in rumpled suit pants and a plaid mackinaw, dingy and too large. He negotiates the slick of ice on the sidewalk by his car, opens the Fairlane's back door, leans to place the laundry in, and turns, for an instant, towards the flurry of footsteps and cries of pedestrians. As a boy, that's all he was. Back from the corner package store, shooting a pistol, firing at once at the dumbfounded man who falls forward, grabbing at his chest. A few sounds escape from his mouth, a babbling no one understands as people surround him, bewildered at his speech. The noises he makes are nothing to them. The boy has gone, lost in the light array of foot traffic, dappling the snow with fresh prints. Tonight, I read about Descartes' grand curse, to doubt everything except his own miraculous existence, and I feel so distinct from the wounded man lying on the concrete. I am ashamed. Let the night sky cover him as he dies. Let the weaver girl cross the bridge of heaven and take up his cold hands. In memory of J. Kashiwamura.
Alexis Velasquez, Alisal High School. I'd say we are off to a very auspicious beginning. All right, for a moment we gotta let the judges do their thing. How about this? Can I request while we're waiting for judges? I mean, they'll be fast. You guys play a little bit, a few bars here and there, So we'll hear, so we get to, 'cause I see you guys standing over there, and I'm like, I want to hear you. And the judges will let me know as soon as they're ready. You guys are ready? Okay. All right, let's bring up our second competitor in round one, representing Pacific Grove High School. Say hello to Matthew Mendez. Come on up, Matthew. Matthew Mendez.
Testing. Testing. My name is Matthew Mendez, and I will be reciting Harina de Castilla by Sandra M. Castillo. All accounts of the past are made up of possibilities. Dionisio Martinez. For Larry Villanueva. One. For years, you were a story of ancestors. Pre-revolutionary Cuba. Barrios, Donate, Gayata, Villanueva. Family names strung and pearled in the Caribbean by blood and memory. Nostalgia and calamity in Artemisa, a small town in my mother's childhood. A woman in December of 1967. Your tia Marta. A hospital room in La Covadonga, rows and rows of children, my sisters, unexpectedly too. Your cousins, whose clothes May and Mitzi wore into history and exile. En el exilio, la Cuba del Norte. 10 years after the summer of El Mariel, you were my map of Cuba. Un espejo, un reflejo, a tiza blue knot of possibility. Mi esquina habanera, a street en la arquitectura del pasado, a superficial distance in the patina of memory. A me I had never really known, a language I had learned not to think in. Later, you were a face on TV in Guadalupe, Maria Elena, my mother's telenovelas en el Canal 23. An actor, a director, a sculptor, abstract angst with a face history and coincidence had given me. 2. So when you become fingerprints and words, a noun, a verb, a snapshot in motion, I am no longer alone with my ghosts, las sombras del pasado, inventing truth, reclaiming language, my old self. I am me, unadorned by speech, English, or translation. I am an I. Simple, exposed. This afternoon in our lives, a conversation about the circle of coincidence and persuasion, a photograph of an idea we once were. And you are familiar, somehow. 3. Constantly returning, we breathe in Spanish, move through blank spaces like incantations, waiting for words to fill a moment, often 90 miles long, with etymology, jargon, ghost words, shadows, and nostalgia, and become a Reina de Castilla, Larry, reshaped, translated, improvised, sculpted, and redefined.
Matthew Mendez, Pacific Grove High School. All right, we're going to let our judges do our thing for a moment here. How's everybody doing so far? Tired. Are you enjoying the poetry, though? That's the most... Yeah, okay, all right. How's everybody else doing here? Everybody else enjoying the poetry so far? It's really good, wouldn't you say? I'm noticing the choices here. Really fine choices that have been made today. Poems I've never heard before. How are we doing on our judging? Are we ready to go? Judges are good to go. Thank you. Let's bring up our third competitor here in round 1. Please welcome from Rancho San Juan High School, Martin Garcia.
Thank you. My name is Martin Garcia, and I will be reading a poem by Michael Ryan called A Thank You Note. My daughter made drawings with the pen she sent, line drawings that suggested things they represent. Different from any drawing she at 10 had done, closer to real art, and playing with the mind fills in. For her mother, she made a flower, fragile on its stem. For me, a lion, calm, contained, but not a handsome one. She drew a line for me once before on a get well card and wrote, I must be brave even when it's hard. Such love is healing, as you know, my friend, especially when it comes on bearing for my children. Despite the flaws you see so vividly in us, who can love you as your child does? Your son's so ill, with brittle chemo, his loneliness owning you now, yet you would be this generous to think of my child with the pens you sent. She has made, I hope, a healing instrument.
All right. Martin Garcia, Rancho San Juan High School. Good work. And our final competitor in round one, representing Soledad High School. Please welcome Tani Hong. Come on up, Tani.
The poem I'll be reciting is A Thank You Note by Michael Ryan. For John Scholes. My daughter made drawings with the pens you sent. Line drawings that suggest what they represent, different from any drawing she at 10 had done. Closer to real art, implying what the mind fills in. For her mother, she made a flower fragile on its stem. For me, a line calm, contained, but not a handsome one. She drew a line for me once before, on a get well card, and wrote, I must be brave, even when it's hard. Such love is healing, as you know, my friend, especially when it comes unbidden from our children, despite the flaws they see so vividly in us. Who can love you more than your child does? Your son's so ill, the brutal chemo, his looming loss owning you now, yet you would be this generous to think of my child. With the pens you sent, she has made, I hope, a healing instrument.
Soledad High School, Tani Hong. Big round of applause for all of them. Big round of applause for all of them. Okay, that's round one. Let's have a little bit of music while we're waiting for our judges. Give them a moment and give the competitors a chance to get ready for round two. How's everybody doing so far? Everybody doing okay? Don't forget, we have some food over there to munch on, so if you're a little bit hungry or you'd like something to drink, feel free to grab a nice little repast. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to round two of the Poetry Out Loud Monterey County Finals. Thank you. How about a big round of applause for our musicians? Very welcome. All right, the final round, ladies and gentlemen. Representing Alisol High School, once again, please welcome to the microphone, Alexis Velasquez. Come on up, Alexis.
Thank you for that. Pleasure. My name is Alexis Velasquez, and I will be reading Bent to the Earth by Blas Manuel de Luna. They had hit Ruben with the high beams, had blinded him so that the van he was driving, full of Mexicans going to pick tomatoes, would have to stop. Ruben spun the van into an irrigation ditch, spun the 5-year-old me awake. 2 immigration officers, their batons already out, already looking for the soft spots on the body. To my mother being handcuffed and dragged to a van. To my father trying to show them our green cards. They let us go. But Alvaro was going back. So was his brother, Fernando. So was their sister, Sonia. Their mother did not escape. And so was going back. Their father was somewhere in the field and was free. There were no great truths revealed to me then. No wisdom given to me by anyone. I was a child who had seen what a piece of polished wood could do to a face. Who had seen his father about to lose the one he loved. Who had lost some friends who would never return. who, later that morning, bent to the earth and went to work.
Alexis Velasquez, Alisal High School. A poem about the plight of the immigrant, the farm worker. Very good job. Thank you, Alexis. Alexis, by the way, is a senior at Alisal High School, which means, unfortunately, you can't come back next year. But he's going to go on. He's going to go on to wonderful things, and I'm told he's planning, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but he's planning to pursue a degree in electrical engineering in Berkeley. Yes? It's going to go well, my friend. You're going to get there. If that's what you want, you're going to do it. I truly believe that. How's our judges doing? Are we ready to go, judges? I believe we are. All right, let's bring up our next competitor from Pacific Grove High School. This is his second time here at Poetry Out Loud. Welcome once again, Matthew Mendez. Come on up, Matthew.
Spanglish, by Tato Laviera. Pues estoy creando Spanglish. Bicultural systems, scientific, lexicographical, intertextual integrations. Two expressions existentially wired, two dominant languages continentally abrazándose en colloquial combate en las aceras del sol. Imperio Spanglish emerges. Control pandillaje sobre territorio bilingual. Las novelas mexicanas mixing with radio, rock and roll, condimented cocina lore, immigrant, migrant, nasal mispronouncements, baraja, chismeteo, social club, hip-hop, prieto, street salsa, corner soul, and mixturando Spanish, pop, farandula. Standard English classroom with computer technicalities. Spanglish is literally perfect. Spanglish is ethnically snobbish. Spanglish is carajoli inteligencia. Which US slang do you speak?
Matthew Mendez, Pacific Grove High School. Which do you speak? Once again, the selection of poems you guys have picked, just really great. Good job. Good job. I'm glad we're getting some comedy in there, some humor in there. We need humor. You know, there's two masks in the theater, right? There's the sad face, which is drama, and then there's the happy face, which is the humor. You gotta have both, right? How we doing, judges? Are we doing okay? Ready to move on? All right, judges, you guys are doing a wonderful job. Can I get a quick round of applause for our judges? Representing Rancho San Juan High School. Welcome once again, Martin Garcia. Come on down.
The second poem I will be reading is A Birthday by Christina Rossi. My heart is like a singing bird whose nest is in a watered shot. My heart is like an apple tree whose boughs are bent with thick-set fruit. My heart is like a rainbow shell that paddles in the Hessian Sea. My heart is greater than all these because my love has come to me. Raise me days of soaking down, covered it in... No. Raise me days of soaking down.
Tell you what, we'll let him have, shall we let him have one more shot? We'll move on to our next competitor, then we'll bring him back up as our final competitor. Shall we give him a moment to collect himself? You good with that? Let's do that. Go ahead, Martin. Take a moment. Take what you need to collect yourself, get yourself together. Let's then bring up, we'll come back to Martin in just a moment. Let's go on then to Soledad High School. Please welcome Tawny Hong. Come on up, Tawny.
My second poem is Ways of Talking by Haji. We used to like talking about grief. Our journals and letters were packed with losses, complaints, and sorrows. Even if there was no grief, we wouldn't stop lamenting as though longing for the charm of a distressed face. Then we couldn't help expressing grief. So many things descended without warning. Labor wasted, loves lost, houses gone, marriages broken, friends estranged, ambitions worn away by immediate needs. Words lined up in our throat for a good whining. Grief seemed like an endless river, the only immortal flow of life. After losing a land and then giving up a tongue, we stopped talking of grief. Smiles began to brighten our faces. We laughed a lot at our own mess. Things became beautiful, even hailstones in the strawberry fields.
Tommy Hong, Soledad High School. Thank you, Tommy. Good work. Good work. All of you are doing wonderful work today. Really, really, really. It's always a pleasure to watch young artists work. And even when they're struggling, the struggles are actually, believe it or not, there's a joyfulness in that as well, because you see somebody wrestling with something real, and that means something real is going to come out of that, right? So this is a good thing. Sometimes, occasionally, struggle can be a good thing. So, that said, how are our judges doing? Are we ready to bring Martin back up? Martin, how you doing? You need another moment? Tell you what, let's have a little music while we give Martin a moment here. Please give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Martin, ready to do this? Come on out there and please welcome once again from Rancho San Juan High School, Martin Garcia.
There you go. Right. Birthday by Christina Rosero. My heart is like a singing bird whose nest is in a water shot. My heart is like an apple tree whose boughs are bent with thick-set fruit. My heart is like a rainbow shell that paddles in the Haitian sea. My heart is greater than all these because my love has come to me. Raise me in days of silken down, hang it with varying purple dyes, carve it in doves and pomegranates and pecans with 100 eyes.
Work it in gold and silver grapes.
Work it in silver grapes and leaves and silver feathered leaves, because the birthday of my life has come. My love has come to me.
Yeah. Martin Garcia, Rancho San Juan High School. Thank you, Martin. And that's it for round two. Martin, good work. Very good work. I'm so glad. Martin is a sophomore, so that means you can come back next year. You've got 2 more years you can do this. I really hope you choose to come back and do Poetry Out Loud again. Please, a big round of applause for all of our students. All of our students. They all did a wonderful job. Okay, so judges, let's have a little bit of music for a moment while we get the judges and their thing, and we'll come back with the results. So please feel free to enjoy the play and just check your bets, and we'll see you then. Applause for our musicians. Thank you, ladies. I love hearing you guys. You guys get so much sound out of such tiny little instruments. I know, right? They're so small, right? See, Always be aware of big things in small packages. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your patience and for being here once again today. I want to thank you very much. We've been tabulating back there. We're going to take care of our runners-up first, and then we will take care of our champions, leading up to the one student who is going to go to Sacramento and represent Monterey County against all the other California counties. Hopefully to take the prize and go on and represent California in Washington, D.C. By the way, I want to point out really quickly that whoever goes on to the state competition, this is an all-expense-paid trip for them and a chaperone. They will be taken care of, their hotel, their food will be taken care of, their transportation will be taken care of, and this will begin the rock star treatments, okay? This is when they'll take you guys and they'll introduce you to congresspeople, senators, and representatives, and you'll get to have the competition in the Senate, on the Senate floor, the California State Senate floor. You'll get to sit in the actual seats that our legislators sit in as they debate the laws of the state and approve them and disapprove them. So it's really a fine time, and they really treat you guys great. So I have a lot to say about that, and I'm very glad. So let's take care of this now. Of course, as I've said before, all of our students, just for simply going through the process, they are all winners because of the skills that they have gained, the things that they have learned in this process, coming together, what it takes to analyze a piece of writing that someone else has put together and figure out how to present it in a way that reflects its meaning and clarity to people so folks can understand and get it and feel it and take it into their lives. It takes a lot of hard work to do that. So they're all winners for going through this process. So you know this process is designed to be very low impact on the classes, the schools, the students, and the teachers. So please, if you know any other teachers at other schools, please share this with them, that the program itself, the curriculum, the Poetry Out Loud curriculum, is designed to take about 20 minutes out of a classroom session, which is usually about 50 minutes or so. 20 minutes. The whole process takes about 2 to 3 weeks. So it is meant to be a very low impact but very effective program. So if you know any teachers and any friends, don't think of this as something like, oh my God, we have to do all this incredible work and we're already overworked like crazy. We hear this from a lot of teachers and a lot of school officials. This was designed to slot in very nicely. So thank you to you guys for going through this process. Our runners-up today from our 3 schools are Aldo Saldana Harwigi from Alisal High School, Claire Rogan from Pacific Grove High School, and Carla Vasquez from Soledad High School. Come on up and let's give them a round of applause. Come on up to the microphone. Certificates here, and they each get, for participating in all their work, $25 Visa gift cards to spend anywhere you want to. So Aldo, this is for you. Carla, that's for you. And Claire, that is for you. Please give them a warm, wonderful round of applause. You guys, and please, for those of you guys who are sophomores and seniors, come back. I want to see you again next year, all right? You guys are all awesome. You really, really are. You're doing a wonderful job representing your schools. Thank you, guys. Guys, can you all give a big wonderful round of applause for Karen Lee Garcia here? Karen Lee is our student coordinator, our programs coordinator with the Arts Council for Monterey County.
Arts Education Director.
Arts Education Director.
Yes.
Let me get that right. She is our Arts Education Director, okay? Emphasis on director, not like program associate or anything like director, okay? And she absolutely deserves that title. She has done such wonderful work for the council since she's been here and for the county. Our community is very lucky to have her. She's a parent and she's a wonderful person all around. So thank you very much, Karen.
Thank you. All right, so I'm putting this in order, I think. You want to do this?
So we're going to start with our 4 competitors. We've got 4 competitors today. They've all done an incredible job, all of them. We're very thrilled you guys are here. In 4th place today, with a score of 17.625, please give it up for Martin Garcia. Come on up here, Martin. Come on up. Martin gets a certificate that shows his participation and a $50 gift card. A $50 gives a gift card to spend wherever you want. Good job, Martin. Hang out. No, come on back up here. Stay up here. Let's hang out up here with you. Let's get a picture of him. Guys, take a picture. Okay. All right, so hang out up here with us for a second, Martin. In third place, from Soledad High School with a score of 32.125, please give it up for Tawny. Tawny Hong. Come on up here, Tawny. Let's get a picture of you over here. Yeah, I'll stand up right here. Stand right here. Let her get a picture of you. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful job. Beautiful. Both of you did really wonderful work, so thank you very much. In second place, with a score of 35.88, Alexis Velasquez. Come on up here, Alexis. So thrilled. Alexis represented his school so very well today. Very, very well. Please keep going. Whatever you do, keep going. Keep speaking out. Keep doing poetry and spoken word. I have a feeling you probably write some too, I'm sure, right? I see. Okay. Poetry and electrical engineering go very well. Trust me on this. And that leaves us, of course, with our final competitor, our winner, our champion for 2020, the person who will represent Monterey County in the 2020 California State Poetry Out Loud Championship. Please give it up for Matthew Mendez, Pacific Grove High School. Come on down, Matthew. Matthew wins a wonderful certificate, and he also gets a $150 gift card for you to spend wherever you want. Matthew, you did wonderful work. You did great work last year when you came to us. You chose to be back with us again. I'm so thrilled. You're a senior now, is that it? So we don't get to see you again. I'm so sorry. But congratulations. You, my friend, are going to Sacramento. Give it up. Here are your champions. Here are your champions. Now, should for some reason, and there is none that we know of and none that we expect, but should for some reason, Matthew, you're unable to fulfill your commitment as our champion, our second runner-up will be the person who will go in his place, which would be Alexis. So Alexis, you might have a chance to get up there, all right? Hopefully not, but because we want Matthew, but if that's the case, I'm sure we'll be well represented either way. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a round of applause. Your champions for Monterey County in the 2020 Poetry Out Loud Monterey County Championship. You all did a wonderful job. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Well, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. We have done it. We picked our champion. Again, thank you to everyone. Thank you to the parents, first of all. Thank you to the parents and the families for supporting your children. If I could just say really quickly to the parents and to the family, your support of your children is not only doing the right thing for yourselves and your family and your children, it is also doing the right thing for the rest of us in society and in your community. Because in the process of supporting your children in arts education, you are creating better human beings. Human beings who will go out and make this world an even better place than it already is and make you so proud beyond how proud you even are today. So thank you very much for doing that. You're doing us all a great service by supporting your children and arts in education. Thank you to all of our students and all of our competitors. You guys are all fantastic. Yeah, I really mean that. I know I'm supposed to say that, right? I don't say it just because I'm supposed to say it. I truly, truly mean it. I've seen thousands of poets over the last 30 years in my career as a poet, and an open mic host, etc., and you guys are really tops. So thank you. Keep going. Keep going. Thank you to the teachers. Teachers, without you, we could not do it without you. We could not be here. We need you. You are our guiding lights. You are our inspirations. You are the people that we remember 30 years later where we're in a tight spot and we're dealing with something and we remember something that one of you said to us that helps us get through that tight spot and get into a better place. So thank you to all the teachers. You guys are wonderful. Thank you once again to the Arts Council for Monterey County, the staff, the volunteers. Please give them a big round of applause. And our board of directors. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. Thank you to our judges. You're all wonderful. Eric, Holly, Patrice, Susan, and Marilyn. You guys are all wonderful. You did us wonderful service today. And also with all the great work you're doing in the community in general, this county and the state and this nation owes you all a great thank you. So thank you for all of that. And also, of course, thank you to our big sponsors, and of course, refer to the California Poetry Out Loud group, National Endowment for the Arts, the Poetry Foundation. Thank you, because without them, none of us would be here. And lastly, I'll say thanks to me, thanks to myself, for being here, for doing this, and for bringing you guys this program, making that phone call 11 years ago on the side of the road, just outside of Spreckles, in my car, and here we are 11 years later. So thanks to me for that, and thanks to the Arts Council. Thank you all. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.